Hello, my name is Elan Vytal, aka DJ Scientific. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about Turntablist Transcription Methodology, and what that is a notation that DJs came up with to transcribe scratches and fader movements for the turntables, for your turntables and your mixer. So a quick thing I'll just break down, put up on the screen and break it down for you. We'll go from left to right. On the left hand side you see samples. So the samples on the left hand side are all the samples that you're going to use during the song. Now each one of these samples lights up red when it is being used. So the sample that you're supposed to be scratching will be highlighted red. So that's where you know in terms of your sounds where you're at in the song, in terms of sound wise, what you're scratching. The Turntablist Transcription Methodology notation is set up in a grid. Now you have 16 slashes to each measure, and so it's broken up into a 16 note grid. And at the top of each measure is a dark black line, so then you know how many measures you are into the song by how many dark black lines. And I think the next thing is to actually number those, so then you'll just know where you're at. So now we'll get to the next thing. Horizontally going up, you have lines also. Vertically going up, you have lines going across horizontally. And those lines are represented to let you know where you're at in your sample, in terms of the sample that you're scratching. So a lot of the times people have samples that it might be two words back to back, like hi there. So at the beginning of the sample is hi, you're scratching hi. Or let's take one of the, right here and now, ladies and gentlemen. Right here and now, ladies. So my first sample is right here and now. So I might be scratching right here and just bring it back and forth right here. And then the next part, I might want to say now, ladies. So right here, right here. Now. But now is later on in the sample. So the horizontal line shows you, okay, now you're scratching, now ladies. It shows you letting go from the record at that point. Now, a diagonal line going up, left to right, is showing the record and the sample going forward. So if you're pulling the record back, it's a diagonal line going left to right down. So left to right going up is the record going forward, and left to right going down is you pulling the record back. So basically that's how you notate the scratches. So you'll see the lines going up and down, up and down, up and down, and the connection of them makes it look like a sine wave. And how fast it is you'll see that. The next thing is to talk about the fader. Basically the fader movement is the off and on switch. It means you're opening or closing the channel. So when you have the channel open and you can hear the sound, that's when you'll see the sine wave or the diagonal line of the sample going left to right, or you pulling the record down going back left to right going down. So when there's a break in the sound, a break in the diagonal lines, a break in the sine wave, that means the fader is closed. That means you're not letting any sound through. And now another way, the second way also that you'll see fader movements is you'll see dots on the actual diagonal line, which means you're letting that sample play while you're moving the fader back maybe 4 times against that sample. So you hear like hey, da. So it's off on. So that is represented by dots on the sample. So the amount of dots that you see on the sample and where you see them in the sample is how many times you move that fader movement, and how many times you off and on the fader. Let's see. The reason that I really got into doing this is because I'm a DJ, and I've been a DJ for over 10 years. And you know, the natural progression for a lot of DJs is, you know, we spin clubs, and then after spinning clubs for a couple years, we end up doing remixes, and then the remixes, you know, that introduces us into production, and then after that, you know, we end up becoming full-fledged producers. And so, you know, I started producing, and I started writing. I started working with a lot of classically trained musicians, especially violinists. And I really thought it was interesting because a lot of us, we would do a lot of call and response and back and forth and play off each other. And I really thought it would be cool is to figure out, because they always try to mimic what I'm doing when I'm scratching, doing things like that. You know, they're going across their bow, doing these scratching movements. So I really thought it'd be interesting if, you know, to really learn this notation and start coming up with shows and ideas and putting them into projects that I have, of where I could teach other musicians this notation, so they can make their instrument have these scratchy sounds or do the same type of movements that a DJ does with a flute, a violin, whatever instrument you can imagine. And so I've lately been working with quartets doing that, and I have a kids show where where one of my songs is notated, and so introducing the idea also to children, so hopefully future DJs can take what I'm doing to the next level and just, you know, to the moon and beyond.
Ladies and gentlemen, right here and now, ladies and gentlemen. Right here and now, ladies and gentlemen. Right here and now, ladies and gentlemen. Very soulful product. Very soulful product. Very soulful product. Get down. Get down.
I hope that really explains everything for you. And, you know, if you're really interested in learning more about the TTM method, you can go to ttmmethodology.com, or you can check me out at elanvytal.com, where you can see some of the shows that I'm doing and come through and check out TTM for yourself. And please ask me questions, because, you know, it's all about trying to create a community of moving forward, and especially with DJing and showing how to really take this instrument into other arenas besides just a club. All right, thank you, and I'm glad you guys listened. Talk to you later.